Hey there, would you like to learn a little bit more about accuracy? Alright, anyway, I am in GG Easy's channel. I'm not sure why he only has 291 subs. He deserves a lot more subs. The content that he pushes out is really based on a lot of game knowledge, and I dare say that he has a lot more experience than I do, not just in Dislyte, but any other gacha games out there as well. So the points that he makes actually comes from a place of experience, and it does make a lot of sense. Well, at least in most cases. Right, but anyway, I chanced upon this video about a couple of weeks ago, and the title is Why You Should Keep Accuracy Main Stat. And this departs a lot from whatever that I've said in the past, which is why you should not keep accuracy main stat. And is he right or am I wrong? Wait. Fuck, I just screwed myself. Okay, anyway, the premise for his video is stating that accuracy as a main stat, basically your slot 4, is a lot better than HP percentage. And he goes about to explain it in terms of like how he used accuracy to maximize his stats and maximize his accuracy, and it's a little bit easier for him to attain those stats. But in my opinion, it's not so much about whether is it easy or not, but whether is it better at the end game. Is it definitely better in terms of total stat gains at the end of the day? That's the thing that I'm more curious about. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I will keep a link to this video and his channel down in the descriptions below, so that it's a little bit easier for you to access his channel. Anyway, this guy totally deserves more subs, man. Come on guys. Whoa, what? I changed my outfit? How did that happen? I had to re-record some of the stuff here because I made a small mistake somewhere in between, and therefore that affected my conclusion as well. So I'll be giving you some numbers in this video, but don't click out of the video just yet because I'm gonna make it extremely easy, extremely digestible for you. So don't you worry, I got your back. Anyway, there are 8 assumptions that we must abide by in order for the rest of the video to make sense. So the first assumption is that 80% accuracy is the soft cap. Now, what the hell does the soft cap even mean? So that means that if you have 81% accuracy or even 110% accuracy, it wouldn't make a difference. Essentially, 80% is the cap that all controllers should try to strive for, so that they are able to control like PvE espers as well as they can. Now, assumption number 2, espers here do not have accuracy ascensions, and this is an important assumption. So there are some espers like, for example, Longmian here, so his ascensions, he does not actually gain accuracy in any of his ascensions. He gains speed, he gains attack, and he gains defense for whatever reason, right? So this list would have to encompass espers such as Longmian so that this is a little bit more relevant. But obviously, if your esper has accuracy ascensions, then you need to make the adjustment yourself, but you're going to understand how this works later on as well. Now, speed is the most important stat for controllers after 80% accuracy. So in essence, 80% accuracy is probably like the first aim for all controllers, and then subsequently, speed would be the next key factor here. Now, point number 4, controllers are not statted for DPS, only for support, which means that we are only looking at HP defense investment and not crit rate, attack, and crit damage investment. So there are some players out there, me included, who like to build espers with a little bit more crit rate and a little bit more damage. So for example, my Tricky here are his stats. He has a little bit of crit rate, he has quite a decent amount of crit damage, a little bit of attack as well. So I do run him with a little bit more offensive power, especially for PvP. But for the sake of this video, we are only going to look at controllers who are not statted for DPS. So they are going to be espers who require just like defensive stats, HP percentage and defense percentage. That's all. Now, assumption number 5, max boost stone effects are used for endgame relevance, which means that we are only going to be looking at legendary boost stones, and we are going to take the highest boosting effect from the legendary boost stone. So for example, if we have a legendary speed relic, we will have in between 4 and 5 speed, which means we will only take the 5 speed, we will not take the 4 speed. Assumption number 6, all relics are 6 stars or level 60 if you're watching this after the 3.1.7 update. Assumption number 7, relic slot 4 is interchangeable between HP percentage and defense percentage for the first case. So what we are comparing is between 2 cases. The first case is HP percentage and the second case is accuracy percentage. So then for the first case being HP percentage, that can be replaced by defense percentage. I don't think it really matters all that much. And then now, point number 8, all relics are flawless relics as well. So that's about it. Now let's take a look at the first case, which is the HP percentage main slot 4. So this slot over here, this would be HP percentage. So don't think too much about all of these numbers. It's just basically your slot 1 relic, slot 3, slot 5, slot 2, slot 4, and slot 6. So basically your dark greens are your main stats and your light greens are your substats. And these are the substats that I think makes the most sense for controlling espers who are supportive based. So you have HP percentage, defense percentage, speed, and accuracy across the board. Now do take note that we are not equipping ourselves with an Apollo relic because that would actually change a lot of calculations, right? So we want to take a look at a typical set that does not rely on Apollo just yet so that you have the opportunity to use stuff like maybe Avatara. So if this is a Zeus Avatara set for Tricky, for example, this would also work out, right? Because you do need Avatara on Tricky, for example. And to make sense of the numbers here, let's take a look at this accuracy portion here. It has 18% accuracy, which means that this relic has been upgraded twice into accuracy percent and 3 times into speed. The same goes for slot 3, but for the rest of the relics, we actually have 20 speed and 12 accuracy, 20 and 12, 20 and 12, 20 and 12. Now the reason for that is because we currently have the bare minimum accuracy reached, which is 80%, so we do not need any more accuracy and therefore we can actually pump the rest of our relic stat gains into speed. So therefore the best stats that you can get with a HP percentage slot 4 is actually plus 187 speed and 84% accuracy. And obviously, like I said before, if you have additional accuracy via your ascensions, then you will not need as much accuracy substats and then you can pump it into speed, for example. But there is one conflicting factor here is what if you need to use an Apollo set, or let's say you're not using a Tricky, you're using like let's say a Longmian, and Longmian does not necessarily require Avatara. He can do really well with the Apollo set as well. So what happens if we change this up to Apollo here? So what you notice is that right now we have an overdose of accuracy. We actually have 109 accuracy, which is way above the soft cap. So we need to get rid of 29% accuracy right now in order for our Esper to be efficient, which means we are actually going to lower the accuracy over here and increase our speed. Alright, and there we go. Now that we are using the Apollo set, we have a little bit of a difference in our spread of stats. So for example, we now have 85% accuracy, which is the bare minimum, and we have a lot more speed than before. Now we have 203 speed. So this is actually a 16 speed difference. Now let's compare this to the next alternative, which is going to be your accuracy main slot 4. So this is your accuracy main slot 4 here, and what you notice is that the spread of stats is actually all very uniform, right? You have 24 speed all over the place, and yes, I know 24 speed sounds crazy, but some people actually have stats like these. And what you notice is that we still have an overdose of accuracy, but the thing is, I could get rid of this accuracy over here, replace it with like a flat stat, for example, but it's not going to matter all that much in my opinion. So I'm just going to keep it as it is so that things look a little bit prettier as well. So we have 89% accuracy, but what you notice is that we have 219 speed, which is more speed than the previous set. So we actually have much better final speed stat using this setup over here. And the thing is, we are not tied down to Apollo sets. We can use whatever set that we want. We can use Avatara, we can use the Shield, Adamantine Relic sets, we can use anything that we want over here. We can even go with 25% more HP via the Master Growth sets, for example. So let's say if we were to go with Stone Veins, for example, right? Our final defense would be this amount plus 25. Which is 103%. But do take note that this 103% is still lower than the HP percentage setup, which is just 131. But don't worry, let's just move on to the conclusion here. So here's the conclusion, HP percentage versus accuracy percentage mains. So what you notice is that this setup using Apollo to give us the bare minimum 80% accuracy would then give us 203 speed, but a lot more tankiness over here. As for the accuracy percentage main setup, we would have significantly less defense, but let's say we ran with like Stone Veins or Master Growth, we would then be able to return a little bit of that lost defense percentage, for example, right? It can be defense percentage, it can be HP percentage, whatever it is. But the accuracy still remains the same, above 80%, and our total speed is higher than that of the HP percentage main setup. But what you notice is that we only have a 16 speed difference, and in most cases, playing a controller, the 16 speed difference will only matter more in terms of PvP. But the thing about PvP is you don't really need too much accuracy as well, right? You only need about maybe 50% accuracy and it is good enough because most players will not be running resistance. So as such, having a setup with at least 80% accuracy is more tailored towards PvE content. And therefore in PvE content, you need to ask yourself, is it really necessary for you to have 219 speed as opposed to 203 speed? But by doing so, you're going to forfeit a little bit of your tanky stats as well. Now, in my opinion, I do feel like the accuracy main is a little bit better because the extra speed does help out a little bit, and it is a lot easier for you to attain the required stats at the start, or rather when you're still stuck in the early game or the mid game, the additional accuracy coming from your slot 4 relic is going to help you a lot. So I do feel like in general, the accuracy percentage main is still a little bit stronger, just a little bit stronger. Because in most cases, as long as you can control the enemies, you don't really need to worry too much about your defensiveness, right? But as far as relevance goes, I do feel like they are both quite similar. It's just that this setup is going to be the most efficient way to build your controllers if you're not going to get hit at all. So here are the two conclusions. Number one, accuracy mains will unlock the fastest possible controllers in the game. And number two, HP percentage mains will be tankier and sometimes better for PvE, where having insane levels of speed is really not that important. Because if you think about it, in Infinity Tower, in Temporal Tower, when would you ever need a situation where you have 219 speed? You probably only need about plus 200 speed in most cases, which is something that you can achieve with a HP percentage main. Anyway, that will be it for this video. Thank you to GG Easy for your enlightenment on accuracy percentage mean versus the HP percentage mean. I definitely underestimated the accuracy percentage mean by a large amount. I love the way his mind works and the way he theory crafts, although he is wrong about Yun Chuan. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Derek Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.